I wonder how many of you can tell what our new boat is. It's called a Squib. It's not a particularly inspiring name, is it? And when you look at the boats, they're not particularly inspiring boats either. With their sort of dumpy looking hull, the curved shear line, the old fashioned red sails, and that ridiculous looking spinnaker which looks like it's had the bottom panel cut off it, they don't look that exciting. But then you have to ask yourself, why is it that they regularly get over 100 people turn up at their nationals every year? And all over the country you'll find strong fleets of these. So it makes you wonder, what do they know that the rest of us don't from just looking at the pictures? Something that's become more obvious to me recently is that you don't need to go fast to have some good sailing. I guess we've always known that because we've had a right mix of boats. But I'm currently sailing a streaker dinghy, which is another boat we should make a film about. It's like an old man's version of a laser. But actually, I'm having some of the best sailing I've had in years, racing against a strong fleet at the Wilsonian Sailing Club. Slow boats might not be exciting, but they tend to be more tactical, and on a tidal river especially, it means there's great gains to be made in the small intricacies of getting the boat to go well and sailing in the right place on the river. And when a cheap boat became available at the club, we thought, why not? Let's give it a go. Because one of the other strengths of the Squib is they've been making them for 50 years now. So if you look around, there's plenty of old boats for sale for very little money and that can give you an awful lot of fun. And at Medway Yacht Club, the Squib is a supported fleet. And in years gone by, it's been a very strong, competitive fleet as well. But it's been through a few years of decline. But just recently, there's some new blood arrived and a few new boats, and things seem to be just taking off. So we thought we'd like to join in and have a go ourselves. So when our boat, Legend, became available at the right sort of money, we thought, why not? Let's give it a go. I'll tell you what, enough waffle. I'll hand you over to me on the boat and I'll just quickly show you what we bought. So then, this is our Squib. We've got it by the house, and actually it takes up less space than the Wayfarer did. So from that point of view, it's not a big problem. And we could tow it behind our normal family car, which is another big plus for a keel boat. There's not much to see in here because we've got it all apart, as in we've taken all the ropes off and I'm about to start removing all the fittings. I don't really know what goes where, so I'm going to kind of work it out as we go along, but I'm sure I can do better if nothing else, because I've got given like a combing that goes around the top there, which helps neaten out all those cleats. There's a surprising amount of controls in here really, but it's all the normal things you'd have on a boat, just kind of squashed into a small space. There's nothing particularly special about it. And I've got to sort out not only all the normal controls and spinnaker controls, but the rig controls as well, because I know they run a slack rig, but I don't know how they control that, so I've got to work that out. But so far it's all right. It's got there's a solid buoyancy, there's a buoyancy tank at the front and there's another one at the back, and ours is full of bags as well, so I don't think it's ever likely to sink, but we've kind of got to work out what we're going to do with them all. There's a depth sounder in it, which will be worth getting working. I haven't even looked at that yet. And I've got to get all the water out. All the tanks have got water in. It's been sitting on the hard forever. I mean, we haven't even seen it with the mast up, because when we saw it, the mast was down. But I figure none of it's going to be that much of a problem. So far, the only really work I've done is on the rudder. Let's go down below and I'll show you. So I say the only work I've done is on the rudder, but it's not entirely true. Sorted out the trailer as well. The way it works is they have one fixed arm and then one adjustable arm that you can clamp in and out. And ours had it wasn't working very well, but it was because there was no block on that arm at the top, so the whole boat was too far this way, which meant that adjuster had run out of travel. But in taking it apart and trying to sort that out, I thought I'll have a look at the bottom of each leg, because they looked a bit rusty, and I thought I'd better check it's actually structurally sound. And sure enough, the legs were fine. They are rusty, but it's just rusty steel, it's fine. But the bolts that were in the bottom of each of those legs were completely wasted away to nothing. So we towed it here without any dramas, but I wouldn't have liked to go too far with it, because those bolts were an accident waiting to happen. Anyway, so apart from the trailer, the only other thing I've done is a rudder, which actually looks all right there, doesn't it? But when we got it, there was a split. The stock was loose, and there was a split on the trailing edge. The aft panel was starting to come detached. Well, by the time I worked that split, I realised another split and another split, and in the end, the whole rudder came apart into 5 bits. They were all just hanging on by a thread, so I've had to strip it, clean it up, epoxy it back together, give it a coat of varnish. The white marks and that on it there are just where I've sanded it down to get a bit of a finish. It's hardly perfect, but it'll be good enough for this old boat. Another thing I've got to work out is the spinnaker pole. This isn't the spinnaker pole that's meant to come with the boat. Where it's been on the hard for so long, I think someone has decided to swap their broken swimming spinnaker pole. They had a repair here, and which has got a standard spinnaker pole fitting on each end of it. Our mast has a special fitting for like a flyaway pole. Let me find it. Here's the mast, which is upside down, but there's the fitting I'm talking about. I think what happens is there's a ball that goes on the end of the pole with a pulley in it, and it pulls it up and locks it into that fitting. Another thing I've got to work out, but what I really need is a new pole, because that one's been repaired and it might be perfectly all right, but it'd be nice to build it on a new pole. Failing that, if I can make a fitting, I'll make use of that for now. Anyway, that's it. Not much to see really, other than it's an interesting boat project for when I'm not at work, and if nothing else, for the winter. And yeah, should be fun. Yes, I'm Ian. This is Sailing with the Foxwell family. We are, as I talk, meant to be sailing up the east coast, but we had terrible weather yesterday. Today's not too bad, but there's some more rain coming, and it's meant to be fun on the boat for everyone, and it's no fun for anyone if we're all stuck inside the boat. So we're staying at home for a couple of days, getting some bits done. We're going to scrub Daffy off tonight to make sure she's nice and free of weed, and then we'll head off Monday, Tuesday or something. Anyway, all that's to come. See you later.